Is on literary merit tonight, and Todd is going to tell us about the literary merit of Charlie Haas.
So yeah, just to recap what'll happen, I'll talk about Charlie, she'll talk about Charlie, he'll talk about Charlie, then we'll all talk about Shanthi in that order, so that way you don't get confused. Charlie, that was pretty spectacular. So spectacular, at one point I decided to take a picture of the back of his head at the risk of my iPhone dying and me not able to take the time. For the record, he went 7 minutes and 5 seconds, which I absolutely adore. One thing I noticed while you were reading is Shanthi was waving her story in a way that was distracting to me a little bit. So I missed the first 30 seconds because I was like, is this a tactic? And then I was just a little confused. And then I was excited that she was a little gamesmanship because he had asked her to be on stage. She's like, well, I'm gonna fuck him up now. And he wasn't distracted, but I was. So I thought that was nice. You were, I was a little bit baffled at the beginning, but it was magic because it was like you were reading without reading, and then right when I realized you're doing that, just like right here, my head became a little numb, and I was just thinking, I'm gonna write that down, and that's what I did. So I don't know if that was the fault of that, but I also liked. I don't know. I just want to talk to you later. We won't do it here, but the air let out of a beach toy in sex. I don't know what kind of condoms you've been using, but they're probably old or outdated. There's a date on those things. I would probably move on to either dating someone long enough to have condomless sex or move to New York and nobody. One thing. Dialogue stinks in readings, but you nailed it. Usually when people read dialogue, it's very difficult. One thing, you mentioned the Peanuts comic strip, and I don't know if that was in the original story, if you were trying to cater to Michael, but right after that, Michael kicked the microphone, so I feel like he was going to sue your story for likeness rights as the story of the thing he's doing that's illegal. So I appreciated that. BYOS, bring your own snacks. I don't know. I like the word dick. One of the best readings I've seen from behind. I'm almost finished. One thing you said, no one should tell people to calm down, whatever. Relax is my term when I'm in a relationship that stinks and then the girl hates me. I'm like, relax. And then, of course, that's the least relaxing thing you can ever tell anyone. Don't tell people to calm down. I just wanted my 30 pieces of flesh. I have no idea why I wrote that down, but I love that because I'm like, is that pound? How many pieces to pounds? And then at the end, this is the last thing I'll say about that, about this reading, but you made a gesture and you sort of used your thumb and you were sort of just making a gesture, but your thumb was right at me and I was like, hey, what's that all about?
Thank you, Todd. And Arline is going to tell us about the intangible aspects.
Todd, you got to relax about the thumb thing. I think it was personal. And then also, Michael really does need a drink, and we do have drink tickets. If we could get him a margarita on the rocks, that'd be awesome. If anybody's up for the task, I'm just saying. So I'm on intangibles, and I'm supposed to be really vague, is I think what I've been told, which I'm pretty good at. But I got to say that I love the name Charlie. I love your name. I love that you wrote for Gremlins 2, and I loved your delivery. I love the title of the story, The Enthusiast, and I love like your kind of like Rumpley professor kind of look up there, and the way there's just something super likable. And you used a lot of names that I liked, like Dane and Struthers are just great names in general. And then underpants is a really great word instead of underwear. And BYO snacks, like that's kind of brilliant, BYO snacks. But isn't it funny how people forget? I don't know, that just killed me for some reason. And then it's your house and your snacks. I don't know, the snacks thing just really touched me on some kind of deep level. Snacks is a great word too. So I was just delighted. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Arline. And Michael is going to tell us about the performance of Charlie.
Before I get to the performance, I just actually maybe the sound guy wants to put down the bass, or I'm too close to the speakers or something.
Shanthi might be the sound guy at this point.
I just was aware suddenly in the middle of this reading that, we're so lucky that we're in San Francisco. There's like actual death matches and cage matches and monster trucks going on. This many people, are in Vilnius. It says, you said it like in band camp? in Vilnius one time. I actually saw all three in one night. No, I mean, there's like chickens wielding switchblades fighting alley cats, and we're here at Literary Deathmatch, and I just thought it was so cool that we're gathered in this small room hanging on every word. I thought it was so cool. Did anybody else have that moment, or I'm just a big dork here in this? Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay. Charlie, I like how you came out swinging like a malnourished prize fighter. I mean, you gave us the background. You brought us up to date on all the characters. So we went into the story a little bit invested, which I thought was cool. We're like, all right, bring it. I want to know what's going to happen to these people, and I appreciated that. I was interested in the characters because of that. It's like, okay, go. Like, what becomes of them? It shows. In some ways, it's almost like if, let's say, Johnny Damon goes to the local, block party and there's a wiffle ball game, and like, who helped win the game? Johnny Damon. Like that, because it shows you have experience at readings. You know your material. It's not like you have. I mean, half the time you weren't even on the page, so that's a big help. That puts you, light years ahead of anyone who has to look at notes. You know your own material. You're well rehearsed, polished, and I'd imagine you've done readings many, many times. So I'm going to disqualify you simply because you have no reason to be here. You're well rehearsed, and so I vote that you leave now, even though you would love my fucking Chubby Brown book, I got to tell you. No, on a serious note, though, I want to say, so the polish shows that you're familiar with your material, and you rocketed right through it. That's why you came in at 7 minutes, and you didn't get a little Nerf jelly bean thrown your way. The Revell stickers, you got me right there, right in the heart with the Revell stickers. Being, I used to build models and sniff the glue, and the Revell stickers got me. And then, actually, I don't know what this note means. I just put Charlie with an exclamation point. Charlie. So I think that was like point Charlie. So thank you, Charlie, for a wonderful performance.